Hello, I made it. It was really snowy roads. I couldn't find parking. No, just kidding. I'm just getting ready for you guys, getting everything all out. And happy to be live here on Facebook again. And share something a little new with you guys tonight. So, yes, happy. Please comment down below. Let me know where you're watching from and how much snow do you have. I know there's a lot of parts of our world is definitely getting some that normally don't. Getting a little taste of our northern Canadian winters. Yeah, we're getting again today. We got another few inches, and again overnight more inches, and tomorrow more inches, and definitely this is, even for us, this is not a normal winter for us either. Like, we've been pretty lucky the last few years. It snows, it melts, it snows, it melts, but this year it's collecting, and you should see the parking lot. Like, I mean, it's 2 stories high, the mountain of snow that is just collecting. Great for the kids, great for us snowmobilers, ice fishermen, all these, outdoorsy people that like to ski. But I prefer to stay in, stay warm, and do some painting and hibernate through the winter. How about you guys? Hey, Sue, you made it. How's it down there? Yeah, no snow, but cold, eh? Yeah, definitely a northern front is coming through a lot of places, colder than normal. So, yeah, definitely good to stay in and stay warm, get yourself a nice hot chocolate, and get the paint out. Hopefully you'll be doing some practicing with me today. I'm so excited. If you guys are new popping on, I know I've got a couple regulars here. I'm talking like you guys all know me for years. I have been around for years, but so you might be popping around new. I definitely certified OSCI instructor, one-stroke instructor through Donnie and Dewberry, and I've made it through all the levels, and now I am a master. So yeah, I've done all her certifications. I can't say enough about them. You learn so much in each of them as you grow, and it doesn't matter where you want it to go. Like, you can, some people don't care about teaching, some people like teaching. Definitely every step of the way is going to boost your confidence and ability to produce art that you're happy with. Like, that is all what it is at the end of the day. And I'm definitely here for you guys if you need any help with your practice, need a little more guided process. I definitely can meet you on Zoom, private one-on-one, to troubleshoot your needs, right? We've been meeting on Zoom for a while, but I decided to change things up a little bit. I had to do some changes. 2025 is going to be a new year with some new ways of doing things for sure for me. And I thank you all that have been around for a while, that I've gone through the changes. I used to have a website. It's not there anymore. I had to let it go. Definitely finances and things in my life, health-wise, and moving definitely didn't help. But definitely I can still offer a lot of my services one way or another. I can still invoice you. You can still watch the videos. You don't have to download them, which is a lot of the big problem why a lot of people like my site, is because they can't download all these videos. You're watching them on your iPads or your phones and stuff like that, and there's just no storage in there. So yeah, definitely I'm always trying to come up with different ways to do things for you, to make it easy for you. Hello, Donna, how's it going? I know it's been a long time. Nice to see you here. And hello, hot and sticky there out in Australia. Definitely I could use some of that warmth right now. Wish I could come visit you, girl. Definitely Miss Cecilia, hello, and Jan is here, hello. I'm so excited to show you guys some new stuff. Definitely, we played around with some tulips before in some of my classes. And but definitely I'm always listening to the feedback, even through Donna's group. When a lot of you guys are asking questions, it always inspires me to come up with these hot topics. And so usually I'm doing a lot of stroke work, troubleshooting with you guys. You can see there's a lot of, probably your questions already been asked in my YouTube channel. You can just look under the hot topics area, and through my practice program that I've created throughout the years is huge, guys. It's step by step, one step at a time, one stroke at a time, getting a little harder at a time. So then that way you feel comfortable growing with the difficulty levels. So yeah, I want to share a little bit more about that, and briefly just, kind of introduce myself, where I'm at, and get into kind of playing around with a little bit of a sketch and paint with you today, and show you a little bit more tricks of how to lay things out, get the size that you're looking for, and the shape of each flower. So I want to do more of these, guys. Let me know what you think about this class today, and if you want to see more, definitely with your feedback, I will come on a little more often again. I'm finally feeling settled in my new apartment. I've got nice little studio room, lots of room to be able to be comfortable to work in here now. And instead of just once a month, would you like to see me a little bit more often? I can definitely come, and maybe twice a month, 3 times a month, every week. You guys want me every week? I'll try my hardest to come up with new ideas for you. But definitely, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys are watching here on Facebook, that's wonderful. You can catch me live here with the presentation, and then later I will be putting the recording on my YouTube channel. So you can still comment down below. Let me know if you're interested in anything. If you need more help, definitely Facebook Messenger is my best way to catch me. Message me, send me pictures, or if you don't use Messenger, then you can always email me at mctclassinfo@yahoo.com. I got a new email, guys, too. So, let me know. I'll put a little link down below again for my email, or message me here on Facebook if you have any questions at all about today, or if you want some input about your practices and homework. Definitely, I can tell a lot by pictures what might be happening for you, or definitely love to meet you one-on-one on Zoom. So the people that are on my program definitely know that they have VIP access to me. You can definitely meet with me whenever you're having any problems throughout my program. All right, so I'm just going to put this aside for a second and show you guys a few of my practices, just a few. I got a big binder full. I'm telling you, you guys got to be selective. Watch the video first, see which sheets that you might need. So everybody's at different levels, right? So it's not all for just very beginners, but I do start there. And then maybe there was something that you missed in the beginning and you just want to advance. So yeah, definitely check out my whole program right from the beginning. We start with the 10 basic strokes, in my opinion. These are the foundation of all of the strokes that you're going to learn in ahead. Okay, so once you start mastering your gradient, being able to wiggle your brush a little bit, get your basic U shapes, comb strokes, being able to kind of spin it around, create some circles, definitely that's the very, very first thing that I get you guys doing, right? Playing around with different colors, different angles, going from right to left, left to right. It does not matter to me if you're right-handed or left-handed. We still have to practice the direction. So when you're forcing yourself to come do, say you're right-handed, you can always see over your hand when you're going in this direction. But if you're going in this direction, you see, I'm like a left-handed right now. It's hard for me to see over my hand, right? So when you guys are right-handed, again, you're starting like we're suggesting you to do, left to right. Yeah, it's hard to see over that hand. But if you start from left or right to left, then you can see over your hand. So really, the challenges are the same. It really doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. I can't say that enough. I've got a couple southpaws in my program that just as soon as I said that to them, they started thinking, okay, yes, I got to practice all my directions, being able to paint in all the ways, and then being able to change, the direction of your project if you can. It does help. But definitely, just practicing in a certain way constantly, like right-handeds technically do, you can see over your hand easier. So definitely don't be afraid to do everything in reverse. When I'm showing you something in right-handed way and you're left-handed, try the other way so you can see what you're doing. All right, so that might help you guys as well. So doing it with simple strokes like this in the beginning, definitely it's a lot easier to kind of fool around and see what you can do. So then when you're starting to get those wiggles in and you're getting the direction of your shell strokes and all your different flower petals that you can do, you understand a little bit more of all the different opportunities you can have, right? So the very first thing we teach you after that is basically all of your one-stroke leaves, anything you can do with a teardrop stroke. There's lots of little flowers that we can do. We can definitely change the variation of the wiggle a little bit, make them a little bit more fancier styles. Small, tiny little brushes for those hydrangeas and lilacs and all those little tiny flowers that we can do. Same stroke, just different size brushes, right? So we play around with some simple little sprigs for you guys as some assignments through the whole process. And definitely we play around with our sunflower when we're playing around with our one-stroke leaves, because they're very, very similar, just a little bit different. And I definitely go through it really, really slowly, guys, for you guys to be able to have lots to play with and really master that before you get to the next one, right? So once you're done level 1 and 2, or not levels, but I mean my course is level 1 and 2, then you're ready for class number 3, which is all about the liner brush. And I play around with a lot of different ways. This flower has been around for a while. A couple people have done it in different ways, different styles of brushes. But I pushed myself with my liner brush with this one, the long detailer one. So lots of fun that you can do. Lots of ways to play around doing some liner type roses, right? Jumping up on that chisel and getting all the effects that you can out of that one brush. Getting super, super tiny lines to nice, big, fat, thick ones. Okay, so these are some of my sheets there. We play around, get you loosened up. Definitely one of my favorite courses is course number 3. I mean, we really give you lots to play with in there. And like I said, this is not even all of them. I just grabbed a bunch of my favorite ones there just to show you. Again, this is one of the assignments at the end that you can play around with your daisy strokes. So course number 4 is all about the daisy stroke. We talk about, simple centers, direction a little bit, and how to get the view of the eye thinking that it's flipped over. Lots of different ways of playing around with that daisy stroke. Then we get into the shell stroke, your traditional shell stroke. I got 11 different centers here you guys can play with to try to get the illusion of a variety of different flowers that are all, your basic 5-petal flowers, right? So definitely more detail about that in there, lots in there. And then we get into playing with a lot of the wildflowers and bugs. So I throw in my butterflies, simple dragonflies, bees. There's lots of different wildflowers and a project that we do with that as well. Some of my dandelions that I've played around with, and again, a lot of little mini assignments for you guys to play with wildflowers. Okay, so then again, if you notice, it's slowly getting a little harder and harder, right? So once we've got the first 5 courses done, that's definitely your foundation of all your stroke work. Then we really start getting particular in different types of flowers. So your 5-petal flower turns into pansies, right? And we start flipping those petals more, changing around those different styles of leaves. Okay, so I've got a couple different assignments there for you with the pansies there. And then this is our tulip. And then also I play around with 2 different styles of tulips. So this is like a wet-on-wet kind of concept, flip-flopping style, and then our traditional wiggle that's a little bit tighter wiggle on this guy. So today I played around again with another style of tulip. There's a couple different ways of doing it. So definitely we play around with the 2 most famous ones. And then this is where it gets to like all these wiggles, right? So there's different styles that these flowers can look depending on how you do your wiggle. And then you throw in a couple little backflips in there, rolling and rocking the petals. Again, will really help give you a real fluffy look, right? So lots of different ways. There's at least 6 different ways to play around with your shell stroke, whether or not you have a closed pivot or an open pivot. Right, so that does give you a lot more tighter flower or a bigger center option. Right, so I'm going kind of quick, kind of just to give you guys a little bit more of a understanding of what's all available in here. It's huge, guys. There's 14 courses, and then we bumped you up with boot camp again, right? So we advanced you again, kept advancing you. So there's some more of my fancier, a little easier poppy styles, right? Different color combinations, advancing your leaves. Rocking and rolling, adding different colors to them, right? So definitely there's so many different things that we can do to play with one stroke. And through my program, I try to, concentrate on all the most popular ones. So there's a lot more. There's so much more that, I might show you guys in some of the projects that I have available now. All right, the layout, there's a little bit of drawing and sketching and understanding layout in the roses that we talk about here too, how to get those roses to look the way you want them to look, right? So again, I like sketching a little bit. So I wanted to bring a little bit of that back for you guys today to sketch out your idea and get a plan. And because if you're anything like me, I always end up making things too big. I start off going, okay, I want to make it small, and then it's just somehow I have too much pressure and then I end up making things too big. So even myself, sometimes I like to give myself a plan, lay out the project somehow, either with chalk. You'll see in some of my projects, sometimes we do just simple placements, but today I want to get a little bit more in depth with that idea. All right, so my rose class definitely has a lot of different ways to close those roses. We touch on a little bit of scroll classes. I have a whole program on tiny painting, getting those size 2 and 6s out, where we repeat a lot of the flowers that you learned already, but just really tiny. All right, so I've got some lines here that help get you guided to help get you to start and stop. Little arrows here so you guys can master those tiny little leaves. Okay, maybe you want to do some keychains. Maybe you're an old nail tech and you want to learn more. All right, so these are some of the sheets from the boot camp. All right, so hopefully you've seen some of the flyers that I've sent out on my page about them. And so maybe these sheets are giving you a little quicker look at some of these sheets. You guys will have a little bit more understanding of what's all in there, right? Is it frozen for everyone or me? Oh, not frozen here. Uh-oh. It's just spinning. Uh-oh. Maybe it could be your internet. Depending on the speed of your internet does make a difference on watching some of these streams. Go out, go back in again. Maybe that'll wake it up. And, or when you're watching the replay, most likely it won't glitch on you. Alright, so yeah, lots of things to play around with. I've got a few of my, I call them my VIPs, very important painters, here today, and definitely they have shared with me how much they appreciate the slow process and being able to have me here to ask questions as well. Right, you're fine there, Cecilia? Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, it could be your internet, could be the weather for all we know up here. We're getting a good Arctic northern storm here across here. So it might be hitting you by now. Out east. So yeah, definitely just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek to a lot of the practice sheets I have today. And show you a little bit more about how to get your positioning done. Is it lagging here too? I know it's 30 seconds behind. Yeah, no, I must have been just talking here. So yeah, how you guys doing with your practice? Is there any questions? I like doing the meet and greets. We've had a lot of success with them. A lot of people got a lot of answers with their stroke work questions. But definitely I'm here private one-on-one. So if we start doing a little bit more of the sketch and paint, do something a little bit different for this year. Sound good? Oh, thanks, Sue. Alright, just scrolling down, see if I missed any. I couldn't get in on my phone, had to use my tablet. Yeah, definitely some devices are glitchier than others. It depends how strong they are, or, you know, or Wi-Fi, or whatever the strength is on your internet. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Donna is here saying that she really liked my program. So yeah, I'm leaving the sheet here, and I'm kind of giving away of some of my little explanation I want to do for you guys. So what I have here is a sheet that I photocopied some tulips, and I did it on black and white on purpose, because sometimes that will throw you off as well if you want to change the color. There, maybe these were all yellow and I want to make pink. So when you do go and get inspiration out there and you photocopy it in black and white, it sometimes gives you the ability to see shadows a little bit more, right, without seeing the color. And definitely what I wanted to do for you guys today was show you all these different angles. And then there's some of them that are open a little more, some are really tight buds, they haven't started to open, you know, so they're all going to give you a little bit different illusions of looks, right? So definitely these kind of have some of these little side flips here, and the ones that are curling back, they're almost very similar to some of the roses that we do as well. All right, so what I want to share with you too is getting the layout of the shape, right? And when it's turned over, right, when it's, maybe you're seeing the bottom, maybe you're seeing the upside down, like the back of them, right? So you're not really seeing any sort of back petals in this one here at all. Hopefully you guys can see my pencil marks here. Make sure I can see. Maybe get you a little bit bigger here. Okay, so you're not really seeing any petals here, and if you do, maybe you're seeing just the very tip of some of these, right? So we're thinking about our stroke work here, guys, right? So I'm trying to analyze this real picture here a little bit and figure out how to be able to do it. Okay, so this one over here, you definitely see some of the front flowers and you see the back flowers. So what you've got more of is an oval. So here might be just a very, very tight little oval. Right, so again, if you think about your rosebuds, this one here is almost like a full circle. Okay, so the more you open up that circle to create your second layer, the more the illusion is going to be for the flower that's flipped over, and you can see the center more. And then obviously if it's straight up on you, then it's a perfect little circle, right? So under these ovals and really flat ovals, right, is, especially for the tulip here, is definitely more of a bulb underneath. So you've got that big U shape. All right, so even though it's small, you still have that U shape. Now we're a little bit bigger, you still have the base of the flower here is important to get that shape. Here is definitely a lot smaller. Right, so you see very, very little of the base of the flower when it's more open to you, towards you. Right, so you can kind of see just the simple shapes, just starting with simple shapes, right? So when you want to get your little design going, right? So I've got about 7 different flowers here, right? So when we're painting, a lot of times we'll start with adding our stems first. Right? So depending on how big you want to do it is going to determine a lot of your sketching as well. So these ones are basically, I got chubby fingers, guys, are 2 fingers wide, maybe 3 fingers wide. Okay, so definitely use your fingers as a little measuring tool, helps here as well. But when you want to just practice, right? So see, they're about all 2 fingers wide. That one's a little bit open, so it's a bit bigger. Okay, so you can sketch out some of these shapes. Okay, so you have a variety of different tulips. So the smaller, narrow, like the oval you have, the more of a U you're gonna have. So we have one that has no shape at all, maybe just a little tiny bit. Then you have like a little bit more open, and then you're gonna have a smaller barrel. You guys kind of, am I losing anybody yet? Like, hey, this girl's whacked. What do you think, guys? Hopefully you're not freezing. What do you think, guys? Talk to me. Is this making kind of sense on trying to give you a little bit more illusions? And then your stem, of course. Right? And depending on if you want it to look this way or that way or down, flipped over, like it's an old one, it's flopped over, right? Some animal trampled through the garden and broke it, it's cracked. Whatever, it's flipped over, right? But normally tulips are very straight. There's not a lot of stems off of them. They're very long stems. So definitely I love to look at real pictures for inspiration. So then I can get a feel of, of the different styles, right? So you can go ahead and play around with trying to draw in your petals, right? So you think about your petal strokes, right? So you've got maybe 2 over here. And then to try to create that second layer, your second stroke is only going to go there, right? So then maybe you want to do 2 in the back, and then you can come out a little wider. You don't have to stay right in your shape. But this is just trying to give you a little bit more of a guide. So you can see that maybe you'll see a few of the stamens sticking out a little bit more. Okay. Same over here. If you had your strokes, so you don't even have to worry so much about doing it from the very bottom when you're painting, but definitely you just maybe need to see, a few bumps. Maybe you want to do 3 in the back. And then your front petals are going to come to the second line lower. Okay, so you can barely see. Sometimes you make those a little wider, but again, we're just sketching just to kind of play around, right? Just to kind of give you a little bit more studying the flower, right? And then also thinking about how big do you want that? Well, maybe I have to make that smaller if I want to get a size 10 out. Right? You can do 12, size 16, maybe 10. So this will help guide you to stay smaller. I know I needed that help. Alright, so again, the center point of where your stem is usually your starting point of your petals. Right, you're coming around, you've got your 2 colors of choice here, and you're always bringing it back. But down here now, you want to create smaller ones. Right, so this is kind of where I'm going at with doing a little sketch. It makes more sense when you get the paint out and the brushes out. But hopefully just playing around with a little bit of paper and some pencil, right? If you find you don't like anything, this is the perfect opportunity going, ooh, I don't like that, let's change it. So when you're doing your strokes of the tulip, you're going to start on the outside, come up to a soft point, maybe bump a little bit, and then slide right in. Okay, so play around with your pencils, guys. Definitely it does help to kind of study the flower, and then you'll have more of an understanding, right, of how you want it to look. That kind of makes sense? Okay, so what I have for you guys too, if you're interested in this offer, you know, I make a lot of e-packs and printable practice sheets and stuff like that for you. I definitely have, I can make a pack for you today from today's class. You're going to get a copy of all the different shapes. I did do a proper, nicer little drawing here for you guys, showing you a little bit more about, I'm not teaching you guys how to draw today. It's just quick sketches that just to get you the shape and the size that you're looking for your design. Alright, so we could put like a stem coming here, trying to plan where you want your main flowers. Okay, so I want one to kind of come. I have a hard time making the same thing twice. Alright, so we have one over here. And then this one here I made upside down, so make sure you have enough room over here if you want to do one upside down. Okay, so we don't have to draw in all the leaves or all that stuff either. So basically what I want to do is try to give it, you know, the shape and size that I'm looking for. Okay, so this one here I made a little bit open. Right. This one here, I tried to make it a little bit more closed, like a new bud. So it has very, very little bit of a space there. This one here, I definitely made a little bit more open with a bigger oval. Again, I tried to make another bud over here. Right, and then you try to make these a little smaller because you can always paint bigger, then you'll have less to erase. Okay, so you can always go a little bit bigger. And it's just to play around and get the sketching going. And then this one I flipped right over. So this has your basic hue here. And it only has a very smaller opening. But then I flipped that one petal over there. Right, so I did one petal in the back. Oops, a little bit too big. One over in the side here. And then these two kind of come in the middle. There could be a 6 petal. Usually they have 6, but one could be hiding in the back. And then your little side one. Okay, so I'm not trying to be neat, guys. But try to be a little light-handed too, so you don't, it's not so hard to erase. I'm trying to be a little bit heavy for you guys so you can see. And then this guy here, he's upside down. And I made this one a little, like, definitely bigger, so don't make your U too big. So the bigger the circle, the smaller the U. Does that make sense? And that's where I did over here, 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 and then 2 in the front. Or 3 in the front. Okay. But basically this is the trick right here, is how big is this circle? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, that's all that matters, is somebody agrees with me. Okay, so whatever shows after it dries, you can always erase your pencil after. Okay, so let's get some paint out so you can actually see what I'm talking about now. And also what I thought I would do for you guys today is I brought my double loader out. Hey, up here anyways, styrofoam plates I think are stopped, they're not making them anymore. So I'm going to have to start saving my meat. Frozen meat. So let's play around with our double loader for a change. Alright, so I'm putting a little bit of magenta. And I'm going to skip a space. Oh, this is eggplant. I used violet pansy first time. gonna put a little bit of, this is eggplant this time. And then I'm gonna put some white over here. Oops. You can tell I don't use this very often. But I'm gonna start embracing it more. Because it is fun to use, and definitely I love the option that I can keep my paint moist and come back to it. This kind of sits floppy on my styrofoam plate, but this locks right in and keeps it really airtight. And then I can definitely keep my floating medium nice and clean in its own little spot. And this comes out, so if you want to put, if this gets dirty, you can keep going and put a little bit more floating medium in here, or put a little bit of water in here if you want to water down your paint to make curlicues. You can keep a little bit of clean water in this on the side and use this for your medium. So yeah, definitely it does have its perks, but I just got used to my styrofoam plate for so long. Okay, so again, I want to leave a couple spaces. Oops, I'm spilling this paint everywhere. And I'm going to add some sap green and some citrus green. I'll try to keep it simple. You guys can definitely play with your favorite tulip colors. And if you haven't played with this yet, it definitely has a pie-shaped formation that goes on the middle here. So sometimes we're using our big 3/4 brush. This fits perfectly in here still, but you just got to move up a little bit more, right? And this will help to keep your brush going side to side and keeping your gradient a little bit better for you, right? I still like to go with the way that my hand likes to move. Some people like going up and down. I personally just like the rocking motion of going back and forth like this. So you'll see me dominantly trying to keep my gradient pile side to side as opposed to up and down. Sometimes I'll sneak in a couple little extra colors or whatever that way, but when I'm really trying to concentrate on keeping my blending pile straight, definitely go with which way your hand feels comfortable, right? So then we want to do some smaller strokes. Then you're going to definitely want to blend a little bit closer to the center of the circle. You see how you'll have a tighter space here to keep your brush focused, staying where it's supposed to. If you're over here, you'll end up going up and down all over the place. This is way too big for this area. So when we're going to be using mostly a 12 today, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to use my brush a little bit closer. Oops. Let's go this way. Grab a little bit of paint. You can definitely come and pick up using your double loader like this, picking up a good amount, and then coming over into an empty spot to blend it in. Okay. Making sure that your paint is up high enough on your brush. And keep working that in, especially for the very first time you're putting paint in it. You got to do a little extra, right? So you don't want to flood the floral part. You don't want it to be sandwiching up into the steel part, because then paint gets in and it's really hard to get it out. So usually just about 2/3 is all you need, especially if you're doing strokes that are full pressure. Daisy strokes, you're only doing a little bit of a chisel. You only need a little bit of paint. But when you're actually pushing down, right, go pick up some more paint. I'm on some dry paper here, and I have no medium on my brush yet. So I'm just putting a little bit more paint up to a soft peak, and it's pressure, pop up to do your main petal. Okay, so that's a lot of times like the middle center part. Okay, so I'm just doing a smooth petal for this tulip today. Once you get the shape placement, right, then you can come in and add wiggles or add waves, you know, depending on how you want you do your tulip petals. Right? But a lot of times I like getting it in smooth, keeping it smooth, or then deciding to add a little bit more shape into it. Okay, so that's usually your front. You'll definitely have some smaller ones, less pressure, same size brush. If you feel like you want to make it any bigger than this, then definitely jump up to your 16 or your 3/4. Right, so you're overworking that brush. If you have to keep trying to slide and try to make it huge like this, it's definitely easier to get a bigger brush. Okay. Then on the side here, so we got our back petal here. We might do one over here. I like changing them up as much as I can. Right, and then that's like your back petal. Then we can do a smaller petal up to the second line. Right. And then this is where it really helps to get the tulip look, is where you start on your petal. Right, so if you come around the outside, you get that nice little hump. I'm making it bigger than the drawing, but that's okay. You get that nice little hump up to a soft point, and then a little bit of pressure to bump is what I call it. Get up on that chisel and then slide nice and into the point of the flower. Okay, so you don't have to flip your brush. You're just coming up onto the chisel and then sliding in. Okay, so you don't even see a lot of the back petal, right? So you can make them simple. And then up to the top, a little bit of soft round, a little bit of a bump to give it some width, and then I kind of slide up on my chisel to bring it down. Okay, so I'm just wanting to mostly show you the placement of these circles. Okay, so you want it to be really open, right? So you see how you don't want to be pressing too hard on your pencil and leaving really dark lines. Just dark enough for you to see it. Right, then a little bit smaller. Up to the side. Right, starting on the outside. Okay, so you definitely have a lot more opening. And then hardly any opening. Alright, just very simple tulip, guys. I'm not really getting extravagant. Right, and then up in the front. Some are a little softer, some are a little more pointier. Right. And then if you want to add one to the side, you're sliding it out into the direction you want it to go. Again, a little bit of a bump up on your chisel, and then flip that over. And it's a little bit of a practice here for you. So it really just depends on how open you want it. Do you want to see all that center in here, right? So then you got to really make sure that you're giving lots of space, but you're always coming grounded back into that same pivot point. Okay, so just a little quickie here for you. Okay, so when I do all the practice sheets and when I get them on the computer, I put all these little arrows and directions and notes for you on the PDF as well. So I'm making a little PDF. If you guys want to have it, it's only $10. Just comment down below that you're interested. Yes, you want it for $10, and I will make a nice little PDF for today's class, so you guys will have the practice sheets and something that you can work with without having to look at the video. Okay, so I'm going to come over and I'm going to pick up my green first. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. Just let me know if you want to see anything again or if you have any questions, okay? What kind of aha moment? Kind of an aha moment for you. Oh, good, Teddy. Hi. Does that kind of help with the sketching? This is where my madness goes sometimes. Just have fun, right? The more you play and have fun, the more easy it's going to be. Okay, so if I'm copying my other one, I did some pink ones and I did some purpley ones. You can make your own with some Juneberry if you want. Definitely there's lots of different colors. A yellow ochre and moon yellow with a bit of white. Okay, where am I? Green. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. Pick up some green and some sap. And I love, instead of getting the liner brush out to get these nice thin lines, I love to just use my chisel of the brush, right? Very, very skinny pressure. You can always make things thicker, so always try your thinnest first, right? And make sure you're comfortable, grounded, you're sliding on your paper. I use my pinky a little bit to help give me like a fulcrum finger, they call it, so that I have somewhere to slide down. Very, very little bit of pressure. Okay, so do all my stems first. Can always come back and make them a little bit thicker. Right. Sure that you're sliding. Don't use any hand cream before you start painting, because sometimes that might make you sticky. Okay. And then this is the hard part right here. Even for myself sometimes, if I have a really strong curl trying to flip that flat brush around, this would be the time where you could put it in with a liner brush. Just go nice and slow, pick up if you have to, and then carry on. And so this is where I suggest getting those leaves in the background, especially the ones that you want to sit behind a flower. And so, and if you notice here on the paper, you got these dry marks at the tip. I actually like doing that on purpose now because it looks like frayed little old leaves that are in the garden. They're not all perfect, right? So I want to come in and just do a slider kind of full leaf, but I'm doing both sides, so you're just slowly putting pressure and then turning the brush to a point. See how skinny that is there, wide there? Right? Then we're going to do the reverse here, slowly putting width on it, a little bit more pressure. Slide your brush to skinny again, and then that's it. Okay, just simple slider kind of styles. And I usually like being right-handed, I'm definitely going to move from left to right as I'm moving to keep that hand out of my wet paint. If you're left-handed, make sure that you're doing all of your leaves on this side first. Work your way the other way. Right? So you don't always have to copy us 100%, but I'm sorry, but you do got to figure out sometimes the backwards part of it. Right? Thinking, okay, I'm left-handed, but I got to do it starting on that way to keep my hand out of things. And I really like doing these styles here too, because if it's a little bit streaky, it doesn't have to be a perfect gradient. Right? Some of them are going to be a lighter color green, some of them are going to be darker greens. and that's okay. Okay, so I'm just trying to copy what I did the first time here. And again, if you're really heavy with your pencil, then you probably still see through it. But I definitely wanted to have one coming up behind the flower. Okay, so I show you all of these and more in all my program, guys. I'm going a little too quick. Okay, try to get those big ones done first. Slide. Come back and get more paint if you're starting to feel like you're running out. Go over it again. Especially when you want it to go really long. Right. Any bigger than this, I definitely would be getting my bigger brushes out. Okay, so we're going to put another leaf down here. A little bit smaller. And I wanted to put one that looked like this was part of this one. Right, see those little bump movements? It's all about pressure, guys. The pressure in your brush is going to do it, not trying to draw and use your brush like a pencil. Okay. I think I'll put another one. I'll probably make this a little bit different. Okay. Never going to be the same. I'm not a photocopier. Right? Unless I'm using a pattern that I can print out, then maybe I can color it in. And then we just put a couple smaller leaves off to the side, or some grass strokes. Right? And then you can always fill in and add more later if you like. Okay. Yeah, you want the PDF? That's awesome. Yep, for sure. I'll make a nice little printable PDF. Okay, so let's change colors. Get back into our pink again. Move this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. So yeah, it's all starting with simple shapes. I've got a lot of other little ideas or different things that we can do definitely to keep this theme going. If you guys like the sketch and paint idea, please let me know if you like it. And if you do, then hopefully you're giving me some hearts and subscribing on my YouTube channel and giving me a thumbs up there. Okay, so this is going to help me, guys. I'm telling you, I'm really heavy-handed. And I had to come up with these wacky ways to keep me grounded because I end up making things way too big, usually. So, and hopefully this will help you too with... Okay, so I'm going to try and do this one here first. And so what I did there was just two simple ones just in the back. And then we can do a side. Oops. And you're allowed to have the opportunity to change your mind. I went a little too high on that one. There you go. A little bit lower. So just make sure, guys, if you're not happy with the fact that you can see through your pencil, what I do sometimes on some of my projects is I'll set all my back petals first, especially when I'm doing a bunch of them, because I want to cover that pencil better. Alright, so that one, so let's put another one over here. I'm trying to stay out of my hand's way here so you guys can see. Right, and then by the time you finish a bunch of them and you come back, then usually it's more dry, right? You can go over it again quickly. So I'm going to do 3 on this one. A little bit more open. Okay, so then you can come over quickly and go and do another coat if you feel like you need to cover your pencil. And that's a little bit of coverage. And I need more pink. Everything is easy once you get used to it. And you go and make a change. I've been painting with those the styrofoam plates for so long. This seems foreign to me, only because I never use it. But even with my experience, right? So everything is got to be practiced, guys. You got to play around and get used to it. Okay, so I'm just going to put another little coat on that one. Wherever the paint isn't covering the pencil, that'll be easy to erase when it's dry. But as soon as you go and hit a little bit of paint on it, you'll definitely not cover it. And so I'm going to come around, up. I really like dropping it down a little bit, doing that little bit of a bump, slide around, and then in. Okay, do you guys see that one? Okay, and then come in a little bit lower. So I didn't do any that was open enough that you can do the centers. I was just trying to give you a little bit more illusion. Okay, that's purple. So let's finish this one. On the outside, working to the top, down a little bit, bump, up on the chisel, and slide. And we'll come over a little bit wider. A little bit more open, give it a little bit of space. Okay, so this is where you could put a little bit of that center in here if you're really giving lots of space. If you're overlapping, then you won't even see that. Okay, so let's do another one this way. And slide around. Okay, so that one's really open and dead looking. So I'm going to clean my brush this time. This time I'm just wiping out the paint on an old rag. And I want to come over and grab some purple. So I have like a little purpley pink going on. And I still have maybe some dirty white pinkish color going on. And if you have a dirty white, which is what I like sometimes, then I can go ahead and tip just that little bit of fresh white on the corner of my brush. Okay, so it's a little harder to side swoop in there when you got all your colors there. So you need to have a little bit more room on your palette, and then you can go over the edge and just pick up just a little bit of clean white if you want. But I like tipping. Donna taught me that a long time ago, and I love tipping my brush to pick up some fresh color. Okay, so let's do 3 in the back with this pinky purple color. Okay, keep adjusting your brush. A little bit of a high one here. Coming from the bottom, give it a nice little bell bottom. Okay, so there's a 3 in the back. And add a little pink in there every once in a while too. Tip a little bit of white. And then now this is going to come up to that second line. I don't have enough white. Tip just a little bit more. And then you can always add a little bit more white to the edges when it's dry too, if you feel like it needs just a bit more bump. And coming out a little bit more wider, just to the second line. Tip. Go over this again. Always go over things if you're not happy. Okay, and let's do another one over here. And I'm going to put two on the back end. It does help if I get rid of my second paper. And then I'm going to put two skinny and tiny little ones on the outside. And then one that's going to flop right over. A little bit of a bump and slide that in. Okay, so I'm liking that. And then I did this light baby pink one last. Okay, so I had just a little bit of that remnants of purple in there. And so it changed the color of my pink. So it gave it a little bit more of a plummy pink. And then I put lots of white guys in this one. Okay, so it could be a dirty white. That's okay. But I did push down my gradient down. So if you guys need more help with your gradient control, definitely I've got a few great videos in my Hot Topics you guys got to check out. Right. Okay, so I'm trying to make this one a little bit lighter. Baby pink. A bit more white. Alright, so if you're left-handed, you're just going to do the stroke backwards. So you see what I mean about that, right? Right-handed, left-handed, right-handed. It doesn't matter. You gotta practice both directions. Okay, you can just leave it like that with 3 if you really wanted to as well. It really look like you're at the back of it. You're not seeing all those petals around there. So let's leave that one like that. Alright, does that help you guys? Give you some variety of tulips there. And then this is where I come back into my green area, because you never know how you're going to end, and so you always want to kind of fix your base of your stem after you've done your flower. Okay, so like this one here already looks like it's a little bit of a wide start here, which is fine. This one here, definitely I gotta come in maybe with a smaller brush, because I'm so close to my other flower. So I'm just going to come in with a smaller 10. And what I love about working on canvases is that I could always erase something I didn't like. On the paper, it's really hard to do that, right? So, again, so I'm just tap, tap, tap. Just that little bit of a V shape, and then bring it down. Okay, so this one we can come up a little bit higher into the flower, especially when you're doing the back side of them. Right, you want that to be up a little bit higher there. And then same with here. Okay, guys. Again, I have one here too. I left another shape here out. Just doing a straight oval. So when you're doing an egg shape, it's definitely fatter here at the base and a little bit skinnier. Right? Again, you can put your last little petal here in the middle, what you're seeing at the back. Let's give that a little bit more point. We're running out of white. Okay, so I'm coming around the top. Giving it a curl to the middle, drag it back a little bit, bump it, and pull it to the side. Running out of clean white again. So that's why I only like putting a little bit of white at a time, is because you want to keep that paint nice and clean. Right, and then you're going to come around to the top again, right to the center, a little bit of a bump, and slide back down. Okay, so this is like a real tight bulb. Okay, then you can come up into the middle here, and then add a little center there. And you can always add a little side, a little bit lower if you wanted to. Some of them are opening up, right? And so you see how I can play around, add a stroke, and just fix it. It's like I wrecked it now, showing you. But, oops. Come around the outside, and then slide around. Okay, guys. So like I said, I did make my pencil drawings very, very dark. So some of the pictures will still show. So in this one here, you can sneak just a little bit of a center in there. If you want. Maybe some yellow. It's so quiet. I'm so used to you guys on Zoom. But I thought I would try something different, give you all a nice little free class here. Do it on my Facebook page. And hopefully you guys like that. Alright, just a little quickie there demonstration. And then of course with your liner brush, right, you always want to add a little bit of water to make it a little bit inky. Right, and I always like testing it on a sheet somewhere that's not good work. If you have to, and then write your name. And we even have a great exercise with letters in the liner brush class too. Class number 3 also has. All of them are loaded. Each course is at least 2-3 hours long with videos. They're all separated in little mini parts, so you can practice 20 minutes at a time and then go and do another assignment in another 20 minutes. So one course has like 4 or 5 sections in it, so that way you have little areas to focus on before you go to the next one. And then if there's a little assignment, then there's another little video spot for you guys to jump on the assignment areas. So I really hope that you guys will jump on my full program. I do have a special on going on right now, that because I changed everything around. I'll show you guys here again if you need a little reminder of the whole package deal. It used to be $245 on my site. I deleted my website, so now it's not costing me anymore, so I can offer the savings to you guys. So this package deal now is $140, and you can watch and access everything from a Facebook group now, share all your practices there with only the people that are jumped on my program, the private group, and definitely I'm here for you guys all the way for like a mentorship for the one-stroke training. Okay, and then once you get through the 14, then you'll be able to tackle all the boot camp assignments. And that comes with another bonus project at the end as well. Okay, and just to remind you guys, if you want to get certified, I am here. I got some amazing deals on that. I also include classes with me through the whole program. Like while you're getting certified, if you want to start with skill builders, definitely Donna's got her own skill builders there. That's really great to really give you a lot more practice before you jump into level 1. And then of course level 2, level 3 is available. Then you can jump on oversized. Can even do, oops, my old oversized. Oh, there's my 12 favorite colors. Yeah, just like a quickie little reminder for you guys that are new. If you have any more questions and you want more information, please private message me. I'd gladly to spend some one-on-one time with you on Zoom and explain a lot more to you and help you guide you through your journey. Because there is lots to play with, for sure. You like that little demo, Laura? Thank you so much. Hi, Robin. Hi, how are you? You like my tulips variations? Yeah, there's a lot of different ways of playing with tulips, for sure. Donna's got a few on hers, too. And then in level 2, you get to play around with Donna's tulips that she does in level 2, too. So again, they're a little bit slightly different. So yeah, just please don't be afraid to comment down below. Message me, email me if you like, if you prefer. I really do like my Facebook Messenger because I can bounce back pictures easier on there. And keep in touch with you on Facebook easy. But if you want to email me, you can definitely do that to get more information for certifications, join my program, join our group, and also any other questions that you might have, mctclassinfo@yahoo.com. And yeah, guys, there's lots on my YouTube. I hope that you will subscribe. All the videos are linked into a paint club group now. So if you go to my page, you should see a little link at the top that says join group. That's our affiliated group, so you guys can share your practice and or your projects that you did from me. Okay, so I've got a lot of them pinned to the featured tab. I hope you guys will go and check them all out. Some of them are a fuller class that you have to pay for the video, but there's lots and lots of free videos that I've got now posted for you guys to check out and jump on the pattern packs if you want. Okay? If needed. Always something new. Well, yeah, that's why I thought I would do something, guys, a little bit different with you guys for the sketch and paint. Please let me know what you feel. If there's any, really honest opinion that you think that I need to hear that I'm a little whacked, please message me. I want to hear it, all of it, good, bad, and the ugly, right? We all can improve on something. I'm not perfect. Don't claim to be. But I try my best, and I'm here for you guys. So please, 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 just message me if you have any questions. Okay? I'm happy to help. Alright, guys, thank you so much. If I miss your comment, I'll definitely keep an eye on the feed and answer you back if you had any questions I missed. Thank you again, guys. Happy creating, and we'll see you again, okay? So you let me know how you want me to do this sketch and paint again. I can't speak, but I can paint. Alright, guys, thank you so much. Bye-bye.